All right, welcome to Denver Justice and Peace's 2019 Awards Night. Let's give it up for Michelle Castro and Francisco Marquez from Gringa. And of course, the members of Grupo Chingada La for the music. We're going to hear more. The music is not over. We will have plenty of time to celebrate and listen to more music at the end of the program. So you will get more coming. It's great to see everybody here. We really appreciate you all taking the time tonight to be here. I know there's all kinds of other things going on and plenty of other things you could be doing with your evening. So really appreciate you taking the time. So every year at this time, we celebrate all the work that we do together to help build a more just and peaceful world here in Denver and around the world. We take the time to celebrate us in the room and honor a couple people in particular. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But it's not just about that this time, because this year, Denver Justice and Peace Committee is 40 years old. 40 years old. So that's 1979 for those who haven't done the quick math. First class stamp was 15 cents. Polyester and platform shoes were in style, and I was born. Literally, that's the year I was born. So that's how old this organization is, or how old I am, depending on how you look at it. And let me back up. If you don't know who I am, my name's Elliot Williams. I'm the co-chair of the board here at DJPC. I've been involved with DJPC since I first moved to Denver in 2013. And I remember the first experience I had was coming down that ramp there with my wife at the time, and she's still my wife, sorry. Still my wife. And she's not here yet, so hopefully. Oh, she's here? Oh. But from day one, the community here welcomed us with open arms, and really what DJPC is all about is that community. And I think, there she is. There she is. Good timing. DJPC is all about community. I think there are few, if any, organizations in the nonprofit space who have been around in Denver or across the country for 40 years. And I think one of the reasons why DJPC has withstood that test of time is that community that DJPC creates. And of course, it's not just about community, but it's about taking that community and doing positive good and taking action. So if you look at your tables, you'll see here this yellow packet. This is actually a brief rundown of all of the work that DJPC has been doing in the past 40 years. It's certainly not everything or comprehensive, but it's a great rundown that folks put together. Gives you a sense of all the work that DJPC has done, which is, as you'll see if you haven't already read it, quite amazing given that the organization is so small, basically volunteer run with one staff member at most, maybe a part-time staff member. So in addition, in terms of the history, hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look at the slideshow over here. There's also some newsletters and pictures from all the way back from when DJPC began. There's actually a newsletter, or several newsletters from 1980, so if you want to catch up on your news from 1980, there's some there. But amazing job that Catherine and Connie, Stephanie and Josie, the two interns, did to put all that together. So please take your time to look at all that and learn a little bit more about the history of the Denver Justice and Peace Committee. Before we go any farther, I do want to take a second and just thank all of the wonderful sponsors for tonight's event. Without them, we would certainly not be able to put on such a great event. So specifically wanted to call out Highlands United Methodist Church, where we are tonight. The Joseph Corbell Latin American Center at University of Denver, Latin American Studies Center, University of Colorado Boulder, the Gender Institute for Teaching and Advocacy at MSU Denver, Center for Service Learning at Regis, and Sheila and John Proctor. Also, if you haven't already taken a turn over there, that's our silent auction. Please make sure to check that out. We're going to close it during the program, but
The beard is a steal.
Yeah, there's a lot of beer over there. You can sample it over there and then buy 5 cases of it over there. And if you want more, we have more. So if you want 6, 7, 8, or 9, or 10 cases, we could probably make that happen. But take a look at that. We'll close it during the program, and then there'll be some time at the very end for folks to take another swing through and take a look. And also look at the back of your program here. You can see all of our generous donors for the silent auction. Thank you to Elle Myers-Child and Lynn Farquhar for putting the auction together. You'll see they did an awesome job. One note, just so there isn't some concern at the very end, if you aren't able to stay to the very end of the evening, don't worry, you won't lose your prize. We will find you next week, so don't feel like you need to collect your prize at the end. We will find you and follow up with that at the end. A couple other housekeeping items. Hopefully everybody's already gotten some food and gotten some drink. Keep getting more food, keep getting more drink. That'll be there all night. And if you haven't already found the bathrooms, up the ramp towards the door and then hang a right. There's a couple bathrooms over there. So before we get into the program, I did want to take a second and do a little bit of that community building that DJPC is known for. So if we can just take 1 minute and make sure that everybody has introduced themselves to who they're sitting with. And if you know the people you're sitting with, let them know what's going on, what's new, what's changed since they saw them. If everyone just take a second and get to know your neighbors. All right, so as folks know, DJPC has been promoting human rights, economic and environmental justice through education and nonviolent activism in solidarity with the people of Latin America for over 40 years. 40 years again. One more time, 40 years. But of course it didn't start 40 years ago thinking this is where the organization would end up. And it didn't start with everybody coming to that first event and that first action knowing that they might still be here doing the same thing 40 years later. So want to pause and take a second and ask the folks around the room. I see some folks who have been around for the 40 years, some folks who've been around maybe a little less, and a lot of new faces, which is awesome. So how many people here are at their first awards night? Raise your hand if you're at your first awards night. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. That is great. Thank you all for being here and taking a chance to try something new. What about folks who have been involved with DJPC for at least 10 years? Who's been involved with DJPC for 10 years or more? 20 years? 20 years? 30? 30 years in the back? 30 years? 40? Who's been here since the beginning? There are people here who have been here since the beginning of the organization. That's really special. So make sure the folks of you who are here for the first time, find those people who've been here for 20 years, 30 years, or even 40 years. Have a conversation. Learn a little bit more about the history. Take a look at the information on your table and over there. And without further ado, let's get going with the program. And I'd like to introduce our fabulous director, Rebecca Zuniga.